Good morning and welcome once again to this edition of Bead Haven. And today I want to talk about another gemstone, and the gemstone of today is agates. What are agates? How do we classify agates? And what other information do we have about them? That is what I want to discuss today. Now, agate is a common rock formation, and it consists of two things, majorly two things. It consists of chalcedony, and it also consists of quartz. Those are the major components of an agate, but we will discuss that later. Now an agate has lovely colors. It has lovely colors and lovely patterns, and it's mostly translucent. The agate is translucent. The distinct patterns are very unique, and most times no two are the same because the patterns are so distinct. The name agates comes from Sicily because the agate was first found in the Arches River, which is in Sicily. So it gets its name from there. Agates are usually formed in, let me say, stripes or layers. You know, sometimes when you cut the bark of a tree, you see how the bark of a tree is in layers. And that is most times how you find the agates is banded in stripes or in layers. And as we said before, it's part of the Chalcedony family. Varieties of agates are found all over the world. There are so many different varieties of agates, and they are found all over the world. It's a very hard stone, and the best property that it has is that it can resist acid, which is very unlike other semi-precious stones. True agates can resist acid. They don't react to acids. So that's a major property of an agate. Many agates are found in cavities of molten rock. That is where you have lava or you have molten rock, you will find a lot of agates, and that is how they come about having that striped look or the layered look, because it's molten rock upon molten rock, so it comes out in layers. It looks like the rings of a tree trunk. Maybe when you cut a tree trunk or you cut a branch, you look at it, it looks like the layers of a tree trunk. Now, there are some properties of agates that people use for spiritual purposes or otherwise. It's said that when you wear an agate or you have an agate, maybe you have an agate rock or you wear agates, pure agates, it says that you become a nicer person or you become a better person, sort of. It's also said that it protects one from viruses. It's also said that it can cure a variety of sicknesses, and so on and so forth. So those that go into using semi-precious beads for spiritual purposes, there's a lot that the agates do. And so if you are that way inclined, you want to learn about your beads, but you want to use them for helping people spiritually and so on and so forth, get to know your different beads, get to know the different properties each one has, and get to know how you can use these properties to help other people or to help spiritually. Now, there are different types of agates. You've got the onyx beads. The onyx beads is mostly dyed. Because it's black, it's mostly a dyed agate. They're mostly dyed. That is, they are mostly enhanced by color, so they are dyed black. You've got blue lace agates, you've got sardonyx, you've got moss agates, you've got fire agates, you've got rainbow agates, you've got dragon veins agates. There are so many different types of agates. But one thing I know is that when you look at most of the agates that you find, you will find that they are they have very distinct color, and they have rings or stripes or something about them. You will see that it's not just a pure one color, not just pure one color. It has something. Agate, they have stripes, they have layers. It will show that it's a true agate. And another thing, when you really want to test if your bead is real or not, there is another thing that I find. Sometimes when you buy your beads, especially if you buy on a string, you might be unlucky. One of them might have cracked before they arrive, or the hole might be quite big enough for you to see into it. If you find a cracked bead and you look at the two parts and the inside is not the color of the outside, or it's not solid inside, maybe the outside is a blue sort of, and the inside, when it's cracked or something, you see that it's just the outside that is blue, the inside is just plain or just white or something. It's not a true semi-precious bead. The inside is normally the color of the bead, because it's supposed to be from the earth, from the ground. So there's no way that the outside will be one color and the inside will be another color. It's supposed to be deep. It's supposed to be thick, a thick rock molded into a bead. So there's no way they can make the inside different from the outside. So that is one thing that I use to check my own beads as well. Now this brings me just to discuss what we mean by what's the difference really between an agate and a chalcedony, a quartz. What's the difference? Because I've mentioned agate, I've mentioned quartz, and I've mentioned chalcedony. So how are the three combined? Okay, now when you classify a bead as chalcedony, it means you are looking at the size of the crystal concerned. You are looking at the composition. So chalcedony means before you classify it, you look at the size of the crystal and the composition of the crystal. But when you are talking of an agate, there are three things that you normally look at. It's based on the size, the crystal size. It's also based on the composition. We're talking about the gemstones now. The agate gemstone is based on the crystal size, is based on the composition, and is also based on the transparency of the gemstone. So there's a third aspect when you are trying to classify an agate, and this is really those that really mine these stones and then classify them under their different classifications and so on. But it is of interest to other people. It is of interest to people that sell gemstones. It is of interest to people that sell semi-precious beads or use semi-precious beads. It's interesting to know all this information about what you are selling. So the chalcedony is based on the crystal size and the composition. The agate is based on the crystal size, the composition, and also the transparency. There's a name we give to the transparency, but for now we just call it the transparency. And what do we mean by transparency? There are three different classes of transparency. One, opaque. When you see something is opaque, you say that you are telling us that light doesn't pass through it. If it's opaque, if it's an opaque gemstone, light does not pass through it. The second one is that it is translucent. If it is translucent, light will pass through, but you won't be able to see any other detailed information. If you put something behind it, you won't be able to see the shape. You'll only be able to see light that is passing through it. That is translucent. when we say something is transparent, then light is passing through, and if you put something behind it and look at it from the other side, you'll be able to see the shape, the shape of what you put at the back. So three things are what is considered. Three things are considered when we are talking of transparency, whether it's opaque, whether it's translucent, or whether it is transparent. So you need to know those things, because sometimes you get beads that they will say it's translucent, they will say it's transparent, they will say it's opaque. You need to know what they mean. So an agate is, we can classify an agate as a quartz with a translucent, semi-transparent, I don't want to use the big word. So we just say that an agate is a quartz, and it's translucent and partly transparent as well. What did I say? Translucent. Translucent means light can shine through. Transparent means light will shine through and you'll be able to see the shape of the object. So that is what we have for agates. It's very interesting to learn about beads and gemstone. Although when you are doing bead stringing, it is not all the information that you need really, but as I said before, no knowledge is lost. So it's good to know what exactly these beads are and how they are formed, or where they are formed from, and how they are classified, not just to thread these are agates. You need to know exactly what it is, so you are sure of what you are doing. So that is the topic we have for today. I thank you for listening, and I thank you for subscribing to my channel. If you have your friends and family, encourage them to subscribe to the channel. We have new videos every Friday at 7 p.m. My Loyal Tops Creation shop is also on my website, loyaltopscreations.com. In my Instagram handle is loyaltops. You can also access my online shop there. And on the YouTube channel, which is also Loyal Tops Creations, you can access, once you subscribe, you can access our how-to videos. You can access more information on bidding from there. So thank you for listening this week. We'll be back next week with another topic. Bye.